Hooty-hoo, all my stock market gamblers. Welcome today. I'm Tall Mike. I'm so glad you're here. Well, the stock market is what I would call in a topping out process, right? I think the bulls are trying to make a new run to see if they can get a new record high, right? The Moon Boys, they all think it's going to go straight up. Now, maybe we get a run up and test that old record, and maybe we even go a little higher. Now, the Bears are trying to pull this market down below the 50-day and take out that recent low. So we're in this pattern that's probably going to go a little bit sideways in this range between the record high and the recent low, and we'll see which one can win the tug of war. The Bulls want to pull this higher to a new record. The Bears, they want to take it down and take out that recent low. The 50-day is the line in the sand, right? If it's above the 50-day, it's probably going higher. Below the 50-day, we'll take a shot to the downside. That's just my take. Maybe yours is completely different. We'll see how that all plays out. All right, I want to talk about how they're kind of postponing the housing market crash. Now, I said it's going to come crashing down in July, but they postponed that. They push that out to August. Now, I'm not really sure what the delay is. I wish they would move it up to June, right? I mean, I want this thing to go through as fast as possible. You see, what's happened is they've come with a settlement, $418 million that the National Association of Realtors has to pay, and then the real estate agents will be no longer allowed to offer a commission to the buying agent. Right now, the commission split between the selling agent and the buying agent. Traditionally, 3% to each side. Actually, in my area, down to 2.5% to each side. Maybe even drop down to 2% each side. But we can no longer offer the commission to the buyer's agent starting in August. So the real estate crash has been postponed a month. It's going to start coming down in August. Now, why do I say that? Well, in August, the general public is going to find out exactly how valuable realtors are. Now, I know most of you think realtors are pure scum and have no value in the world, whatever. And that's perfectly fine. You can have that attitude, but you're going to find out in August just how valuable the realtor is. Because when the realtor doesn't bring any buyers, things will not move. Things will come to a standstill, and people will have to reduce their house price until someone comes in and buys it. But you're going to take away the person that does all the work, and that would be the buying agent. See, the buying agent works with buyers, drives them around, shows them the houses that are the most relevant to their buying parameters, and then they get the closed sale. You see, it takes two to put the sale together, but it's starting in August, according to the judge that's going to be signing off on this, that we're not going to be allowed to offer any commission to the buyer agent. So the buyer agent, I agree, buyer agent kind of screwed, kind of going to go away. A lot of agents going to go out of business. That's why I tell people, see, before I tell people, don't become a realtor, whatever you do. If you can do anything else, don't become a realtor. If you can work at McDonald's, you don't want to become a realtor, right? Because you could make $20 an hour working at McDonald's. But now we're going to wipe out all the buyer agents, so I'm telling everybody, hurry up, get your license. It's going to be a gold mine for the realtors that have the listing. The listing agent now has a gold mine. He's going to be able to print money. His commissions are going to double from here, right? Okay, why is that? Well, because the buyers are not going to be represented anymore, so they're fair game for the listing agent when they come to the open house, for the listing agent to ask if they want to buy the house. They say yes, they go sign here. We're going to get both sides of the commission. It's called dual agency. So the commission's going to go up for the selling agent. You only want to be a selling agent. I gave up buyers 10 years ago. I don't work with them unless I absolutely have to, unless someone begs me, unless they picked out the exact house they want and they just want me to write that offer. Maybe I'll do it. But otherwise, I've thrown away the buyers. I only work with sellers. But come August, you're going to see this market starting to come down. It's going to come down pretty hard. Why? Because you took away the agent that does the work, right? The buying agent. People think they don't do anything. They're going to find out exactly what they do. They bring the offers. There's not going to be offers come August. Come August, the prices are going to start to go down. Now, don't buy in August. This has a long way to play out. We're talking 40% down from here. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about buyers are not going to be represented unless they pay $20,000, $30,000 to the agent to represent them. Otherwise, they're going to be unrepresented. Now, some will go to lawyers. Lawyers, big winner in the settlement. They get a third of the $418 million. They'll pick up some real estate cases to represent the buyers. And that's perfectly fine, but that's my take that the market's going to start to come down in August. Postpone 1 month. I said July. I don't control when the judge signs off on things when it goes into effect. It was going to go into effect in July. I want to go into effect in June. I got a listing coming up. I know I could get both sides to the commission if this were in play, but it doesn't go in play until August. Okay, so in August is when the house prices will start to go down. Now they're going to try to prevent this. I guarantee you they're going to try to prevent it. They're trying to prevent it right now by delaying it a month. Maybe there's an election coming up and they want to get it closer to the election before they start to see the house prices come down. But don't worry, they have a plan, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. All right, so most people think everything's okay. Most people think the economy is doing great. Most people have no clue what is coming. They have no clue. And that's okay. Yeah, you're on the channel where I'm preaching to the choir. You know about what's coming. It's not going to be pretty. Look, I promise you that things are not doing well right now. You cannot have $35 trillion in debt, $120 trillion in unfunded liabilities, total of over $150 trillion, and everything's okay. It does not work that way. Just doesn't. Okay, so that you can't fix this by printing more debt. You can't print more debt, right? To paper over this. You're trying to paper over everything. Right now, they're trying to paper over the commercial real estate problem. Look at the banks are in a lot of trouble, and they got the commercial real estate problem. They have no money, right? They've already lost 30, 40% of your money. Any bank run and the banks topple over. I mean, they are in terrible shape right now. And most of them are going to get taken out with the commercial real estate problem. But that's a whole nother topic for another day. Okay, so the banks, what is interesting, because they have no money, because they don't want to make loans, because they know the housing market is going to come down, what have they done? Well, they've stopped doing HELOC loans. What's a HELOC loan? Home equity line of credit. Okay, so the banks, the big ones, Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they stopped doing HELOC loans, right? You go in and apply for one, they say, we don't do them anymore. Okay, but that's going to change. That's going to change. Here's why. Okay, so Fannie Mae just came out and they said, we're going to do the HELOC loans. No one else is doing HELOC loans, right? No one else is doing them. The banks aren't doing them because they can't make money on them. There's nowhere to sell the HELOC to. When a bank makes a HELOC loan, the bank usually holds that paper, right? And the HELOC loan is on top of the first mortgage, maybe even on top of a second mortgage, so they'd be third in line, right? So basically there's no equity for them when the house of cards comes tumbling down. All of the HELOCs get wiped out. They get wiped out 100%. So maybe you go get a $50,000 HELOC loan, but you got a $750,000 first, you got a $200,000 second, and the $50,000 HELOC loan is the first thing that gets wiped out because the 750 is ahead of it, the 200's ahead of it. You're in third place. You're down the line. You're not going to get paid because the equity of these homes is going to get wiped out. So the HELOC loans, they go away 100%. So what's the government done? Well, it's technically Fannie Mae. Now, Fannie Mae's a quasi-government agency, but Fannie Mae has dedicated, get this, you can't make this up, not $1 trillion, $2 trillion to HELOC loans, right? Because here's the thing. People in the houses right now, now. Okay, they can't afford the house they're in. See, they bought the house if you bought it in the last 2 years. You paid up here 7-8% mortgage, and you were told that interest rates were going to come down, but they're not coming down. What's happening? Inflation. What's going up? Everything's going up. Utility bill, taxes, insurance, maintenance fee. Everything's going up, right? So home ownership, all these people, they're already starting to feel the pain. They have buyer's remorse. 78% of them regret it. They're starting to sue the real estate agent because they've got this little tight noose around their neck, and they're starting to lose the houses, right? They're starting to give the keys back to the bank. We can't have this. It's an election year. So what are they going to do? Give Fannie Mae $2 trillion to give anyone that wants a HELOC loan. You can go out and get a HELOC loan, 100% loan to value, right? Well, what happens when they get wiped out? Well, they're going to bundle these up. They're going to try to sell them to Wall Street. Well, I don't think Wall Street's going to want to buy these bundled up HELOC loans, but that's the game plan. It's game plan. Bundle them all up, sell them to Wall Street. But if Wall Street doesn't buy them, who is going to be the buyer? It's going to be the Fed. The Fed's going to be buying HELOC loans. They'll just call them mortgage-backed securities, right? That's technically what a HELOC loan is. It's a loan that's backed by a mortgage, so you can bundle them up and sell them to the Fed. $2 trillion more added to their balance sheet. What the heck? We're over $10 trillion at that point. You can't come back from this. But this is a big problem, you see, because these HELOC loans, when the market comes down, they're going to all be wiped out. So figure $2 trillion loss for the Fed. The Fed's losing already, lost over $1 trillion of your money, of my money. They don't have the money. They print the money. I get that, but who's got the money? Me and you are next on the hook for that, right? With taxpayers got to pay for that. And that's a big problem right now. So what are they doing? Well, they're going to bundle up these HELOC loans first. They're going to give it to them so they can get the people to stay in their house. Look, don't give the keys back to the bank. Just get a HELOC loan. You will give you the $50,000, the $100,000, and you can stay there another year, right? Stay through the election. Don't want to have all these foreclosures right before the election. They're trying to extend this process, right? They know that in August the prices are going to start to come down. People are going to see that. People are going to be dumping their house onto the market. They don't want that. Please come and get a HELOC loan from Fannie Mae. We've got $2 trillion to loan out. We'll give you any amount you want. Maybe we'll go over 100%. Maybe your house is only worth $1 million and you got $1 million in loans already. We'll give you another 100,000, maybe another 200,000. It's not going to matter. We know you can't pay it back. That's why we're doing it. That's why we're the government. We can do this stuff. We can give you the money. It's like free money. Go get your HELOC loans, man. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, $2 trillion for HELOC loans. That's going to be taxpayer liability. Aren't you tired of paying this stuff? I know I am. I know it's just for the election to prop up the houses, try to get one more year out of the House run before they all come crashing down a house of cards. This does not end well, but that's the latest plan to postpone the meltdown. The meltdown's come and you can't stop it. Look, we got a big debt problem in the United States, but it's a bigger problem is the liquidity problem, right? Liquidity problem. There's no liquidity out there. Look at that. The best economy ever. And what's the Fed doing? They were selling $90 billion a month in bonds and mortgage-backed securities. They were selling 90. We can't do that anymore. We're down here. Why can't you do it? I thought the economy was great. No, we have a liquidity problem. We can't do that. We got to stop this quantitative tightening. Mark my words. They're going to go back to quantitative easing. It's going to start with this $2 trillion from Fannie Mae, right, for the HELOC loans. But there's a liquidity problem out there. And they were tightening 90 billion. Now they're down to 60 billion. Pretty soon that's going to be to zero. And then it's going to be back to quantitative easing. Now, they said they took the rate hike. The rate hike is off the table. That's what the Fed came out and announced. No, we're not going to do a rate hike. The next move will be a rate cut. They can't do that. They can't do that. Maybe they can quantitative ease so much that it doesn't look like anything when they do the rate cut. They have to get liquidity out there, right? They got to get this liquidity into the system. So they're going to go from quantitative tightening to quantitative easing. They say they're going to do rate cuts. They do rate cuts. You just watch that inflation. You watch gold double, triple. It's scary what's happening. You got to protect yourself. You just do. You got to bet against this debt. This nonsense has to stop. They're not looking out for our best interests. They're trying to stay in power. They're desperate at this point. They know Joe doesn't have much of a chance, but if the houses come down, Joe has no chance. Let's keep the houses up at least through November and see how that plays out for Joe. That's just my take. I'm Tall Mike. If you like this stuff, give me the thumbs up. Why not? Punch that subscribe button. Get out there, everybody. Enjoy the day. Bye-bye.